see on television. You know, they're either trying to be their parents or they're trying to be their brothers or they're trying to be some cartoon character that they like on TV or whatever. But it's hard to say that most people don't have this kind of issue. Like you and I have always wanted to be Britney Spears at one time or another, right? And it's like, yeah, sure, of course, that's totally natural, right? Yeah, and we can't really get there. So it's like the best we can do is to just try to emulate, and then it's like it becomes about pack order. Our whole society is based on this pop star pack order that we have to just comply with because who are you? You know, it's like that song by that untalented bitch Lord. There'll never be royals, right? Like pop stars are royalty in a way, that people idolize them and hold them in high regard, you know, as as the exemplar of a thing, right? So whatever. You and I, we love Britney Spears because she was so cool, right? And I'm just joking here. What do you love about any kind of like person you might idolize, or what do you love about, you know, in a way, Bruce Lee is like a pop idol, right? I mean, if you have your own calendars out there, then yeah, you're probably like a pop idol. So like there's a degree like that we're sort of drawn to be like these people, to try to emulate what they did or emulate the mythology of what they did. Either way, there's people that try to be like, I don't know, whatever, people out of the Bible. Some people want to be Lot. I don't know. It's like every shot is a kill shot with me. Seriously. I'm spot that. Anyway, it's just sport. It's really not out of necessity. I'm like a big game hunter. Yeah, like a cougar, waiting for my prey. Yeah, I'll just wait to strike. Yeah, man, fangs in the form of a swatter. Sorry, I'm fucking losing it here. But it's what makes me so relatable, Lev, isn't it? Everybody wants to say something important, but I'll just get right up to the precipice of it and then bail at the last second. You got to respect it. Uh, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to think, Lev. But if you think that Walmart isn't selling your fucking video data to crazy companies that are going to info mine it, then you're out to lunch. I said it.
I say what my brother was saying yesterday.
Your big brother
Yeah, he asked me like
code.
about maths and all that kind of stuff. Like, he kind of dug a little bit of it, kind of thing, and then like he says like, why do you let it bother you, like wearing a mask? And I'm like, it's like it's not, but it bothers me so much. It's like I say, it's about the principle of the matter, isn't it? You know what I mean? But it's like,
What do you mean it
why
doesn't
why does
bother
it
you?
why does it bother me? And it's kind of like
Makes me
because
sweaty and want
there's
to
so
pass
much
out, love.
underneath there. And it's like, you know what I mean? It says, well, like it's the same as like 9/11. Like COVID is another 9/11. It's an inside job. You know what I mean? And that there's means to an end with that, isn't there? You know what I mean? Of where
You
that goes and
you're
what they
breathing
want, the
your
outcome of
hair,
that.
huh? What's so wrong about
Hey,
your hair, huh? Why don't you want to breathe it? You want me to breathe it, mate? Feel sorry. Want me to breathe it, but you can't breathe it. Oh, I see how it is.
Ain't it better to share it?
When are you gonna depose the fucking fake queen and get a new king or queen or something? Damn. I'm just waiting for Emperor Palpatine to arise somehow. Of course. Who wouldn't be?
Grandad Palpatine.
This
If you think
Gregory
further.
Howlett, that fucker is out to lunch, bro. But I mean, he's funny in like in a Pete Shea way, I guess. He's like a serious Pete. He's on a serious Pete Shea move.
Oh,
Fucking forget it. I don't even know Howlett. Whatever his fucking name's, John Gregory fucking Howlett the third, the fucking John Paul fucking whatever.
the guy that played Palpatine.
No, the dude just says he's the king of Britain.
Right. Howlett, the thing. John Howlett, something, I don't know. What about that post that were like from early 1900s? Were they like part of, what's it called, part of the pandemic back then or not? I don't know. Um, but that were making it sound like that that news article was of a person with the same name doing the same thing and reclaiming the throne. And now, like 100 years later, over 100 years later, um, it's come about again. So it's like, why were it in newspapers back then?
I don't know. It's like they did a time warp on the Guardian or something like that for fun, just for an anniversary or something. But here's the deal, really, is that I think what is actually happening, and I think who actually might be the real deal guy, the guy who has title, because it was abolished that you could discriminate against somebody having lineage due to their affiliation with a Catholic church. So, like, basically, if you had title, like, let's say you're in line for the crown, Lev, but you decide to be Catholic, so now you're fucked. You can never be in line for the King of England, ever, until such time as it was revoked. That law taken out. Now, person who is, I believe, um, applicable to this is the same guy who controls the English Freemason, Royal Arch Freemason. He's like the president of the Freemasons, and he has title. And I no, he's the president of the Order of the Eastern Star, I think. But I don't know. I think he does have like title above. Um, who the fuck is it? Well, I don't know. Whoever the guy in line is supposed to be, right? William or fucking Harry or whoever. I don't know who the fuck it is, right? It, but this guy, because this thing was overturned, should have the proper credits to get in. You know, as being, you know, having lineage and you know all the correct things there, except for the fact that he's Catholic. So yeah, it's a lot more plausible for me, like than the Gregory Hallett thing. And just kind of happened upon this one day, like looking up, like sort of, I was just watching like an Order of the Eastern Star video, and yeah, then there's a guy ultimately that presides over it, and it's kind of like this sisterhood of whatever secret witch shit or whatever the fuck they do there, and they're all happy. And then this is the dude that like is the I don't know, the high falutin authority, probably pollutant too. I don't know if maybe the Masons are all fucking square. Who knows? But yeah, he seems like the guy most, or certainly fucking way much more than this New Zealander fella. You know what I mean? With his crazy stories and shit. But wouldn't you think he'd have some kind of test? You know, like he could like give his blood and then they can like just check him out. You know, like yeah, you're 99%. What you said, or you're fucking 2%, or whatever the you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. Anyway, I was like 2018 maybe. This it was all of the um houses in Britain like voted to make this like a referendum on banning Catholics. Um, so I don't know. That's an interesting route. That's the most. There's hope in it at least because everybody else that's like following the Hallett story is fucking. You know, they've either like given up on it or they're out to lunch believing it because it's just not a thing. I don't know. I don't think it is. But this other dude's already fucking the head of the Freemasons, and that's probably how he fucking got the law changed. You know, so and he's like old already. It's not like he's a young guy. He's been around. Um, so yeah, I don't know. That's my take on it. But there's some reason why like that seal is no longer on the gates. Gotta be right. Someone said
Yep.
that, and this is not about a reputable source, but like if you're going to be able to challenge for the throne, you can only do it at a time when there is no um, monarch in office or whatever. So it's like her taking a break, and a lot of people are really in on this Hallett thing, like whole hog. No good. Um, but anyway, is the crown in challenge right now? You know, does is it privately being handled and just like they don't want to disturb the public with it? I mean, maybe. Uh, I can't understand why that would happen at such an auspicious time as now, when you're do you live in a kingdom? Wherever the hell you live, like do you live in a realm? I don't know, but like, don't you think now is a time that would be bad to show something like that, which is a bit like who is really running the show here? You know, at a time like when you know what I mean, it's like you need a leader to sort of steady the ship or whatever. You want to feel like you have that. I don't know. You got Boris Johnson, so that's cool. I'm not trying to talk shit, but like, you know, what gives with it? You know, like what's the overall what is happening? Um, for no reason they took a placard down that has her royal shit on it.
Uh, it potentially could just be to like muddy the waters for people like us to talk about. You know what I mean? If we don't want people talking about flat Earth and all those kind of things, then it's like just chuck it out there. You know what I mean? It's like put some information on the internet to make it look like there's a story, and then pull the iron railings down and the placard or whatever the one in that kind of sense. Um, to make it seem like there's some physical evidence. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, it doesn't mean they've done anything just by taking it down. They could be replacing it with a new one, you know,
Yeah.
as an excuse.
You know, it's weird. They talk about and this be the Globers, I guess. You know, they talk about like that the mythical day of, you know, what if they say like that the Earth's flat, like, but who could say it really? You know, who could even say something like that? Who would have the authority to like just let that out? And who? would people believe? You know, that'd be
20
really
years
interesting.
ago.
Yeah, now you gotta have like new king comes in. He's like, hey, by the way, the Earth is a realm. It's a flat construct. It never was a ball. That was happened, you know, because of the Catholic thing and the 1492, and we're trying to fix this shit now. You know what I mean? This is like been a while. You know, some shit like that would be really cool. You know, a really cool ending to the story. Although I don't think that's what's gonna happen, but um, I would love for something like that to be possible. You know? And just because I don't know, I feel like this whole old order is being upheld by, by Elizabeth's line and her um, associations, you know, to certain powers and stuff like that. And you know, maybe if those are expired in a way because of her the end of her regency or regnant, whatever. I don't know how you fucking say it, but if that shit's revoked, just like the Pope revoked himself from being the vicar of Christ, if it's like if the Pope just is like, yo, I quit, then well, what clout does the English Church have if it's not the head if the head of being the Anglican Church is really the power of the regency, I guess, right? That's why she's the Queen Mother, right? She's a stand-in for Mary, right? As the um, I mean, I believe that's the whole idea, anyway. But if that shit doesn't hold on, then what strength does the monarchy really have? I don't know.
They give the power away to government years ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, so like in this way, like the monarchical power is has been corporatized over time. That
See,
makes
that
sense.
could be just the public anyway, in a sense of their role in things. So it's like you can't use, well, you can't like point the finger at them in a sense. Like when there've been protests 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and stuff like, they've been quite scary compared to what we get today. You know what I mean? We're not like your peaceful protests and stuff. It's quite aggressive protests and stuff. So uh, they could have done it in a way to protect themselves. It's like, make the government the scapegoat so the royal family don't get that finger pointed at them. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's not our fault, it's the government's fault. They they're in charge of all those kind of things now.
Could be, could be.
So then, behind the scenes, they are actually making a lot of decisions about the future for, I want to say, mankind, slave kind. Is that more appropriate? You know what I mean? And making a lot of decisions of what, does go on in the New World Order and stuff. Like, not just the royal family. I imagine it's a lot bigger than them. I imagine most of them I've never seen on TV or like Bill Gates. I don't know whether he's involved in them kind of decisions or is he just like another puppet in a sense. Same with royal family.
He doesn't seem to be at all concerned with Microsoft and its own. I mean, I guess he just stepped away from it. It doesn't matter anymore. It's weird, like you know, we've got um, a, there's a chain of household and clothing goods called J.C. Penney. That's like in the States. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Um, that's going like there's a few different department stores. Um, there's a variety of gyms that's gone away. They'll probably never come back. There's Microsoft is closing all of its retail stores. That's an interesting one too. Yeah. I mean, if the entire retail market is going to shift dynamically like it is, um, there will be jobs that will just never come back because there will be stores that just don't need to operate like they were, or having a point of sale is just not, you know, important. It's not like Apple's going to close all of its shops or anything, but I mean, is it a sign of things to come? Maybe. I don't know. No more jeans bar. They got to be behind a wall of glass or something.
You still have shops, but it'd be extremely minimal. It'd be like these big companies, retail parks, where you've got like Nike and whatever else there is, you know what I mean, all these companies and stuff like, and be able to buy things like kind of directly, but not as such as in the retail style that we're used to in that kind of way, like, but more like there might be a little shopping area in one of these big buildings or whatever. It probably might not be even that big anymore, but I think most of it will be done like I'm going to say like organizing contracts and stuff like that. Most of that can
But
be done anyway. You know what I mean? They don't need to have places off.
yeah, I mean, it becomes like I was trying to buy like a pair of shorts, right? At Target, and they don't have like you can't even try clothes on anymore. Like that's strictly not going to happen, I guess. And it's just like sight unseen to buy something. I mean, it really like takes away from the I don't know desire to purchase anything. You're kind of always going to take a chance that you got to return it. It's like not right.
Mm.
And what's that mean? Why would they even take a return? You know what I mean? Are you gonna return a shirt that you bought? Are you serious? It's COVID going around. You expect them to just put that back on their shelves now? You gotta possibly contaminated item. You gotta put it in. You know,
It's been to somebody's
like,
house. That's
well, I'm just saying, like, how does the return policy work on anything that's being brought back right now or sent back? Like, it really that item should be going under quarantine of its own somehow, or going through some kind of sterilization process, something. So, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it just destroys the retail market. Like, it completely destroys the retail market, and then, you know, a lot of retail markets almost exist because of other retail markets because you're going to have somebody going in there, to go to the Gap, which is now like the Kanye Gap. Like somehow now, like I think Kanye West has like a exclusive like Gap line now for 10 years or something like that. Like that just happened. Like this brand affiliation. So yeah, it's just so whack, bro. Um, so yeah, I don't know.
I think a lot of it's to like take out that potential chance for any small companies to be in business.
Yeah,
That's what
it
big
inhibits
companies
the
do at the
whole
minute.
thing is meant to inhibit competition because when you've got like when you've got the possibility of competition, you'll have you'll have growth actually, where you limit the competition, it'll just stagnate, you know. You can see that on many different levels. I think that's not just an economic truth, but that's a regular sort of constant. But that's what they want. I think they want a low rate of growth, low rate of inflation as they're trying to reset the economy right now. Um, it just makes sense to me as far as yeah, man. I don't know. The economy is just like it is just like a rat's nest of fucking issues. You know what I mean? And a lot of the wealth that's in the system is maybe there just because it's had influence over time. You know what I mean? It's like part of a systemic sort of wave of things that just occur. You know, so um, that's why we can't get ahead of the money. That's why it seems like no matter how progressive the population might be, they're not going to get ahead of the money. They're not going to get ahead of the politics because the politics is controlled by the money. There's like, I don't want to say there's no hope, but there's very little hope that something could ever just spontaneously happen without like a follow the plan type moment. Now it's funny that like we call Trump like, well, I like the nickname the Führer because of his hair, and it's really funny that we're following the plan, which is what Führer really means, plan. Isn't that funny? It's a Führerdemic we're in right now. Yeah. All right. That's too far. Got to know my limits.